Flosstube, I'm Kim Chamberlain, the Canal Town Stitcher, and welcome to my channel. This is a channel about cross stitch, and before I get started with my January update, I just want to give a big thank you to everybody who has liked my whip parade, who has subscribed to my channel. I have grown exponentially in the last few weeks, and I just really appreciate it, and I just am so excited to have you all here to join me on my cross stitch journey. Actually, 2 or 3 days ago was my 4-year anniversary on Flosstube, and so I couldn't be more excited to go into 2025 with all of you, so thank you. If you haven't already and you're new here, welcome, and please like and subscribe if you choose to. I am just so thankful again, and just so blown away by all of the really kind comments, the suggestions I got, just everything. So thank you. Today I'm coming to you with my January update. For those of you that are new, I used to do like bi-weekly updates. Then I went to like more of a monthly basis. I find that monthly works best for my schedule because I have 2 kids still at home. I have 4 kids total, but I have 2 kids still at home, and with their schedule, it's just easier for me if I plan to do one update, and then I also do Stitch With Me videos because I really enjoy doing that. I just did one a few weeks ago, and I do have plans to do at least 2 of those a month. And so I hope that you join me for those as well. Periodically, you might see some crochet on here. Sometimes you might see some project bags that, all the project bags that I own are either like these ones from, this came from Joann's, but like I also have some from Amazon. But all of the ones that are like this, that you see, I made myself. And I do have some plans to make some project bags in the next couple of weeks. So you might actually see some more of those. So I live in Jacksonville, North Carolina, and today is Wednesday, January 2nd. Today's the 22nd, and we just got 6 inches of snow. So if you are not familiar with where we are on the coast of North Carolina. We are about 2 hours from Myrtle Beach, north of Myrtle Beach. We're located where Fort Lejeune is, or Camp Lejeune is located. I say fort, but it's a camp. It's a Marine base, and this snow stopped everything. And we are originally from upstate New York, so for us this is like nothing new. We've only lived here for 2.5 years, and so we are very familiar with snow and what it looks like. But for many people around here, and for lots and lots of kids, this is their first chance of like seeing snow. So I just, like, outside my window here, I just see the next door neighbor, and they're playing with their dogs in the snow, and it's really fun. So we obviously got a snow day today. And we might not be going back to school for the rest of the week. Also, if you're new here, you may not know, but I'm a 4th grade teacher, and I really love teaching. I love that part of my life, and I've been teaching for about 10 years. Prior to that, I was a stay-at-home mom to my babies, and who are like grown up. So yes, we are enjoying our little bit of a snow day today, and we might not have school tomorrow or the next day, I hear. That's just what I'm hearing from the grapevine. I'm coming to you today from my guest bedroom, which I think is going to be my new location in the house. And this is kind of where, like, I've kind of got my little setup going for right now. And so it's different lighting. I had to play around for a few minutes and get everything right, but I hope everything looks good. Please share with me in the comments if there was a problem with something that you, like a shadow or something that maybe I just didn't notice. I have a lot to share with you today. Obviously, it's been a busy month. I've been stitching all month. I've also been dabbling and dyeing some fabrics, and so I'm going to show those to you today. And I will put in the description box the videos, the links to the videos that I watched to dye the fabrics. I watched Unfinished Stitches. Madison did a coffee tea dye, or she did a tea dye. I don't think she did a coffee. I think it was just tea. And so I followed their tutorial to tea dye fabric. And then I also followed Megan, the Seattle Stitchers, I can speak, tutorial on RIT dye. And I found that one to be my favorite out of all the ones that I watched, because it was the simplest method and I got great results. And so I'm not going to be a serious dyer. I'm not going to be, you know, somebody that dyes fabric for a living or anything like that. I'm just going to do it for myself. So I really felt like that tutorial was the best tutorial. So I will link both of those videos down below, and I'm going to show you those fabrics. Today I have lots of new starts, and because I was going to do the 12 by 12, well, I was going to do my own version of the 12 by 12. And if you're not familiar with that, it is where you would start 12 projects, one for every hour, the day of New Year's Eve going into New Year's Day, at noon. So you would start a new start at 12, 1, 2, 3, you get the picture. And I was very, very sick New Year's this year, very sick. So I didn't even start one project that whole day. We were getting ready for people to come over, and then I got really sick. And then on New Year's Day, I ended up in the emergency room, because, I was dehydrated and was so sick. Not sure what it was, probably the norovirus, which is going around and taking everybody out. But I digress. Back to what I was talking about to begin with. So I decided to start several new projects throughout the month, and so I have. And so I'm really pleased with some of the progress I've made on those charts. And then I also have WhipGo to show you. So I will get right into it, I guess. So the first thing I'm going to show you is a finish I had. I made this for my godson's son, and I am going to cover up the bottom here so you don't get to see his name, but I stitched this, was a dimensions kit that I got from Amazon. And so I stitched this for him, and I have finished it, and then I ironed it today, and I plan to fully finish it this afternoon. I'll take a picture of it and post it to Instagram, and I'll put my Instagram handle down at the bottom. And then I do have it privatized because somebody hacked into it a while ago. So if you want to follow me, just hit follow and I will approve you. Anyways, so I have fabric that I ironed today to fully finish this. I'm gonna put it in this box right here. I just got this box from the at-home store on clearance. I'm gonna cover it with this fabric right here that I bought from Michael's yesterday. So I'm gonna cover it with this fabric, I think in this direction. I think I like it going in this direction. And so I'm gonna glue it into this, and I think it's gonna look fantastic. So I have that all ready to go. I ironed my fabric, so I'm ironed my piece. I'm ready to fully finish it. I would really like to put that in the mail this week. So to get this out of here. So that's my finish. All right, let's talk about WhipGo for a minute. So that, and I'm sorry, that was my washing machine if you just heard that. So WhipGo numbers called for this time were numbers 11 and 20. Let's see here. Let's go into my pages. I keep them, I have my WhipGo board on my iPad. I use the Pages app, and I really love it for this. So here's my WhipGo board, and then I put the numbers in, and then I just color it in when I finish it. So it was 20 and 11. Yes, I was right. So number 20 for me is my one and only Heaven and Earth design. And it is the mini Heaven and Nature Sing by Donna Gelsinger. It's going to look like this. Now, at my whip parade, I showed you, oh, let me just go get it. Okay, so this was where I was before, during my whip parade. And I was talking about how I just hated this. This is 18 count Aida, by the way. I just didn't like it. I mean, it's coming out okay, but I really hate the parking method. I've come to determine that. So I started it over. This is the 4th time, by the way, that I started it over again, but I really like it now. So I really had a hard time putting this down. For Whip Go, what I do is I work on a project for 10 hours to a finish. So if it's one of those projects that I'm really close to finishing and I can finish it within the 10 hours, then I finish it and then I mark it as done. But all my other projects I work on for 10 hours in the month when they're called. And so I started this over again on another piece of 18 count white Aida. Oh, that's upside down. And I am not using the parking strategy. I'm using cross country. So for those of you that don't know, cross country is where you like kind of go around, and so I do color completion now. So I find everywhere that I can find the color to go in the piece. It's within an inch or an inch and a half. I don't want to go too much further than that. I don't really want to go 2 inches or more. And then I just color complete. So I just fill in the spots where all those colors are. And I am much happier with this. It's not messy. It's neater for me. I was having a really hard time with it being like so many strings everywhere, and I was losing track of where I was going. And so this is just much better. Plus, I cut my strings really short so that I can't go too far. And I am using 2/1 full cross. And I'm drawing in the lines myself because I don't really care. This is a full coverage. So you're not going to be able to see my pencil markings in there. And I'm much, much happier. So I've worked on this for about 7 hours out of the 10 hours. So I have about 3 hours left to go. And I plan to pick it up every day the rest of the week so that I can get that 10 hours in. But now that I'm so much happier with it, like this is really fun to work on. So it's a lot easier. My number 11 is Land That I Love. I did bring it in here so I could show you. This I haven't touched since my whip parade, but I'm going to show you where I am now, just in case you haven't seen it. I plan to pick this up probably today and work on some of the border. I might actually come in and work on the alphabet too, because I'm kind of getting bored with the border. I am not stitching this with all the called for colors, but most of them. I'm just fixing my board here. So the blue in this is not the called for. I'm using 9, I think it's 930 instead of the corn, what is it, cornflower blue? I can't remember the color that I swapped it out for, let me tell you. Blue corn. So, and I'm very happy, very, very happy. This is going on a piece of 32 count natural raw Belfast linen. And this is where I am. So I have plans to work on this. Probably go down a little bit further here and then maybe more across, and then I'll start with the alphabet. I've been working on this project since 2022. So it needs attention. It's big. It's going to take a long time. So this is on my WIPGO board more than once this year. It's number 11. It's number 17. So yeah, it has to be worked on. So those are my 2 WIPGO projects for January. And I'm apologizing for the zippers. I'm sorry. Okay. So next up is my new starts. So let's go with those. I have several. I'll start with the one that I restarted. This is Country Cottage Needleworks Autumn. I restarted this. When I first started working on it, I didn't like the fabric that I chose. And then it was then the second piece was like too small, so I wasn't gonna be able to fit all of the words in. And so this time I started it on a piece of 16 count natural Aida. And I'm using all the called for DMCs, which I don't necessarily love, but it is coming out really cute. They're just really bold colors. So here is where I am on that. Restart. So I got a lot of this done. This has been an easy stitch for me. Like I took this in the car. It's on Aida. The only thing that I wish I had done is I wish I had tea-dyed this before I got started with it, because I think I would have liked the effect of the tea dye. I plan to give this one away as a gift. So we shall see. I'll probably stitch it again. And then I actually thought, you know what I could do? I thought once I tea-dyed some fabric, I was like, I could stitch this in white and it would look so cool. I do like the colors though. But these ones are a little bold. Like this yellow is just so bold and it's in the house. So like it looks great, but, and it might look different if I was using the called for classic colorworks too, but I didn't have those colors in my stash and I just wanted to start. So I just grabbed the DMCs. The next new start is a freebie pattern that I got from the Tidy Modernist. Oops, I forgot to put that back in there. This is Old Fashioned Hot Cocoa that I got from her website. This is her 2024 free pattern. So if you go to the website, you'll find it there. I thought it was really cute. I'm using all the called for DMCs, except I am trying the loops and threads. I'm trying the loops and threads embroidery floss because my Michaels was completely out of 310, out of all of their B5200 and their Blanc. So I bought a 36 pack of loops and threads and I said for this project, since it's free, I'm going to try them out and see how they are. So I have 728 for the loops and threads and then just this white 772, I think it is, that I'm using for this, and they're fine. I don't find them to be difficult. I did look at some of the reviews before I started to see how people like them, and they said that they were like thin, or that they were like the quality wasn't good, but I'm not finding them to be that terrible. And for needing, you know, white and black floss, I think it's totally fine. And I thought, well, since I have all this thread, I might as well use it. So this is where I am on that. I'm stitching this on 14 count black Aida. So this is stitching up pretty easily. I'm pretty happy with this. Got a good start. I only worked on this for like 2 days. I don't think that this is going to take too long. I think I will have it done by the end of the month. And I do have to have a small for the gift exchange because, or for the smalls exchange, because I'm going to the Barefoot Needle Art Beach Retreat, February 7th through 9th. So if you're going, let me know you're going. You'll see me there. So I do need to have a small done for that. So I don't know. It's too hard to decide. That's the way I kind of see it. All right, next up in my start pile here is, I have to look this one up because I don't have a cover picture for this for some reason. This is a Stitching with the Housewives. Let me see here. Sorry, this always takes me so long. It's from their, here it is. It's from their winter series. Like, I can't remember. Let It Snow series, I guess. So here is what it's going to look like when it's done. It's adorable. I love foxes. They're my favorite woodland animal. So I wanted to stitch this. I'm using all the called for DMC, so I'm not using any of the Classic Colorworks for this. And I'm stitching it on a piece of 28 count taupe Lugana that I got from Hobby House Needleworks when I was there. It was in a scrap pile. If you have the opportunity to go to Hobby House Needleworks, ask if they have a scrap bin. Last time I went, I probably got 20 pieces of scrap fabric and it was super affordable. I can't remember exactly how much it was, but you know, like, go in there, spend some time talking, look through the stuff, you might find it. And they surge all of their scraps, so it's amazing. Anyways, this is where I am on him. And he looks so cute. And I don't know, I might want to turn on this light. Let me see here. I plugged it in. There we go. So you can see it a little better. The sun's going down a little bit outside. So cute. And I'm gonna have plenty of this fabric left. I could probably do 3 of these on here and do it like a runner. I could do it like a little runner. That would be really cute. And I have a whole bunch more because I also have this one. And then I have the one with the cardinals too. So that is a good idea. Look at that. It just came to me. Just like that. Okay. My next start is Clover and Hives by Hands On Design. I am doing my mantle in like beehive theme for the summer. I'm doing this on a piece of 16 count Aida that I tea dyed myself. And I just started this last night and it's not much of a start, but here's the actual fabric, so I can show you. Like, this is the fabric I tea dyed, and then there is my start. I started from the bottom because this one's a weird chart, but isn't that so great? That came out so good. It's like parchment, like old time paper. I love it. So this one, because of the way that it is, like, I didn't want to do a center start. So because of the way that it is, and I wanted it to be lined up, I chose to do, because this is Zweigert, so I used, you know, their orange line to help me. I figured that it would be easier to start with the bottom and work up and then go over and down. So like, I'm just gonna, like from here, I'm just gonna go up and then over, and then I'll just fill the rest in down. And that should be fine. I really did not like the fabric that this is supposed to go on. I just do not. I don't care for that color. I'm more of a taupe, brown, or gray type of stitcher. So that's where that came from. So I just started this last night, and I feel good about where I am now. Okay, now on to my regular whips. All right, first up, I worked for about maybe 15 minutes on my Scandinavian Forest. This is a pattern I got from Etsy. I love this pattern. I've been working on this since 2021. I didn't work on too much of it, but I worked on filling in some of the white. I'm stitching this on 18 count Fiddler's cloth or oatmeal. I can't remember. Anyways, it's 18 count. I'm doing 1/1. And this is where I am. And I just worked on filling in some of this white. So I just filled in all these motifs that have white in them. That's what I worked on. It wasn't a lot of stitching time on this, but there's some. And I think of it like, even if I put one stitch in it, if I just worked on it for 5 minutes, I worked on it. So I always show everything that I worked on. And I got some like really nice comments about how I don't iron, and thank you so much for all of your kind words. And then also I got a lot of really nice comments about my Paula Vaughn piece that I showed in my whip parade. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you can go back to my whip parade and take a look at it. And I think I'm definitely gonna wash it with OxyClean, and then I'm gonna see how it looks. And if it's worth stitching, I'm just gonna keep stitching on it. That was like the most advice that I got, was like, don't start it over again unless it's like so bad that you can't like get over it. So, and I think that that's really good advice. So I'm going to take it. I'm gonna take that advice. I found my missing pattern, and I'm gonna show it to you in this video. This next project that I worked on, I didn't work on again for very long, but I did have to do some frogging and restitch some things. So this is my Santa on a Snow Owl, is that what it's called? Hang on, I don't know. St. Nicholas and Snow Owl. This is from the Cross Stitch, For the Love of Cross Stitch magazine in January 1992. And I know that one of my viewers from the Whip Parade said that she saw this and immediately wanted it, and she was able to find it on eBay. So it is out there. I'm stitching mine on a piece of 32 count Lugana in the color Azure. And this is where I am now. So all I did was work over a little bit in the eye area. So I didn't get extremely far, but I had to frog a lot of it actually. And like, thankfully, like the way that I end my threads makes it very easy for me to unthread them, so I can just pull out. I don't have to use a seam ripper in general to do any of that. All right, at the end I will show this pattern. Hopefully I remember to show it, that I lost and wasn't able to show during my book parade. All right, next step is my love notes. This is by With Thy Needle and Thread. I'm talking to the floor, which I'm sure is great for all of you. Anyways, I'm stitching love notes. This was another pattern that I had seen all over Flosstube maybe 2 years ago, and it was really difficult to find at the time. And when I was in New York in 2023, not 2024, I was able to pick this up from Hobby House Needleworks. I'm stitching mine on a piece of 32 count vintage country mocha in, this is Lugana. And I started with this one right here. I started with this one. When you last saw it, I had the L and part of the V and the whole border done. And now I have this done. I spent a good 2 or 3 evenings working on this in front of the TV. So I got pretty far. Almost done with this one. And then I'm pretty sure that there's enough fabric on this that I can do, I want to do this one next, I think, which is the Be Mine with the chickens. So I'm going to turn the fabric and do it, you know, obviously in this direction. And then I'm going to finish these, I'm pretty sure, as pillows, just like they did here. So, and that will be my first time, like, really. I've done one other pillow finish before, and that was a Christmas ornament that I stitched in 2020 when I first started back into stitching again. So it'll be like my first time. I'll take you through, you know, I'll show you when I finish them. I ironed a whole bunch of my pieces last weekend because I got my iron out to iron the fabric that I dyed. So I have a whole bunch of that to finish now that I've ironed it all. And now I have no excuse, right? And I have this little space. I'm like setting up this little space. I have my ironing board over here. I have a desk here. I can grab my sewing machine. It's in that closet. So I can finish some things. All right, next up, I worked on Emerald City. This is a Satsuma Street. And I always have to look it up from the Etsy page. You can still get it from Satsuma Street. It's called The Emerald City. I got mine out of a World of Cross Stitch magazine, but it's available now here. I used to have a subscription to the Readly app, and if you don't know what that is, it's a great app if you are looking for the Cross Stitcher magazine, the World of Cross Stitch magazine, just Cross Stitch magazine, X Stitcher magazine. It's like $13 or $14 a month now, and I had it for about 2 years, and I was able to download a lot of patterns from it. So I highly recommend it. I did finally let go of the subscription last year, but I was able to get like a lot of Emma Condon. I was able to get a ton of her patterns. This pattern from Satsuma Street and a bunch of others that are really, really nice patterns, really, really nice patterns. And I highly recommend the World of Cross Stitch magazine. It's a UK publication, I believe, but it is fantastic. They have so many cute patterns. It's just really, really good. There's an alphabet in every single one. And it's just a really good, it's a really good place to go if you're looking for patterns. Anywho, I didn't work on this for very long. I am stitching this on a piece of 28 count. No, this is 32 count. It is, I can't remember. It might be 32. Anyways, this lives in a hoop because I stitch on this quite a bit. I pull it out whenever I'm looking for something fun to work on. This has a lot of really fun colors. And so this is where I am on it. I don't love this linen very much because it's super thin and it can be hard to work with. But I think it's going to look beautiful on this. So I just worked in down here. Just worked in this area down here and got some of that done. And I keep this by my bed. And it, like when I go up and down the stairs in the morning, this usually goes with me because I never know when I want to stitch on it. Sometimes I just feel like stitching on it, so I just pull it out and stitch on it for a few minutes, even 5 or 10 minutes. All right. Next up, I worked on a lot of things. I've been stitching. It's snow time. This is a Cottage Garden Samplings, and if you have been with me for a while or you hang out with me, you know that they're one of my favorite designers. I am stitching or have stitched several of their patterns. It's Snow Time. It's going to look like this. This was in their A Time for All Seasons. This was #1 for A Time of All Seasons series. I've been working on this since August of 2022. And actually last year in 2024, I didn't really stitch on it much at all. I think I put in like 2 rows of this star. So I actually worked on this for a good bit a couple weekends ago. It's being stitched on a piece of 32 count Lugana, maybe platinum, not sure. And this is where I am. So I was able to finish the star and I finished all of this vinage. And then I found a mistake in the scarf. I'm leaving it though. Nobody will know. I only figured it out because I was like, oh, this vine isn't lining up exactly where it should. And then I figured out that I skipped an entire row on that scarf. But because it's not really it doesn't affect anything because this kind of hangs by itself out here, I'm not changing it. I'm just going to leave it. Nobody will know. I will know, but that doesn't matter. So I'm working on just filling this. I'm just going to fill in the bottom of the snowman, and then I just know that I just fill all of that in with the 3865. That's what it is. Let me see. This stitches up so pretty. This is one of the ones I stitch in hand, so I like to stitch in hand with Lugana. It's harder with Aida, for sure. I do stitch in hand a lot with linen, but it depends on how thin the linen is. Sometimes I need that tightness of the hoop or the Q-snap in order to make sure that I'm doing it right. I'm getting good stitching. All right, next up, and I think this is my final whip for the month that I actually worked on. And this is by Little Dove Designs. It is Adjust Your Sales. You can get this on Etsy. In fact, I've purchased almost all of my Little Dove Designs patterns from Etsy. I have a couple of others. I finished one and then I started another one. And then I have 2 others that I'm going to start as well that I purchased from them. I just really love their designs. I'm stitching this on a piece of 32 count Belfast Linen in Vintage Stormy Night by Swigert. And there's a dog outside the door. I have 2 little dogs. They must be ready to get up. They sleep with my daughter, so. All right, so this is where I am now. And I was a little bit afraid that you wouldn't be able to see the clouds, but you actually really can. They do come right through. And this was originally on a model that had gray fabric, so I feel good about this. I am stitching this with all the called for DMCs. There's a DMC though, 4025. A lot of it, you need a lot of it for this pattern, and I can't find it anywhere. It's online. So I have to order it from 123 Stitch. But we're doing a no purchase January, so I'm not buying it right now. But there's plenty to work in without it, but it's like all of the water. Here, I'll show you. All of the water, all of this water is in that color, all of it. So I definitely need to grab it, get it. And I've looked to see if I could do a blended threads, and I just didn't like what I was seeing. I really feel like in order to get the effect of what they want this to look like, you really need to have what they called for. This came out of Love Notes. I need to put this back. Okay. So there's all of my whips that I have worked on so far in January. And now I can show you the fabrics that I dyed. Okay, so I've been wanting to dye fabrics for a long time. Like I had purchased Rit dye like years ago to dye fabrics, and I've just not done it. And then the other day I was watching Unfinished Stitches. It wasn't the other day, it was like last week. I was watching some of their videos. I love them, by the way. So if you haven't seen them yet, go check them out. They are great. It's a mother and daughter. And they stitch a lot of the things I like to stitch. So it makes it easy for me to watch them. And they stitch almost everything on Aida, which is nice too, because then it doesn't feel like when I'm stitching on Aida that, you know, like, I know that, let me just give this little disclaimer. I love seeing other people stitching on 40 count, and I do have some 40 count fabric that I plan to start stitching on, and so I love to see it, but it's hard for me. And a lot of people like to stitch 1/1, and I really prefer, like my preferred method of stitching is 2/1 or 2/2. And I know I said 1/1, but that's not really what I meant. I meant 1/2 when you're on 40 count. And I prefer the loop method. I use the loop method, and I love stitching with 2 threads. And I really find that stitching with 1 thread is really great. And I have a couple projects that I am stitching 1 thread, but it's not my preferred method to stitch. So, when I find channels where they're doing it on like a 14, 16, or 18 count Aida, and they're using 2 threads, I feel a lot more like, okay, I can relate a little bit better to them, I guess is a good way. Not that I can't relate to people the other way, but I think you know what I mean. I'm trying not to upset anybody, because I know that there's so many people out there that love to stitch that way, and I think that's great, and I appreciate everything that I watch and all the stitching that I see. It's so beautiful, and I just love that people stitch, but I don't prefer to stitch that way, and it's not because I think there's anything wrong with it, and I think I've already spoken too much about it. Anyway, so I was watching them, and they were talking about a tutorial they had done on tea dyeing, and I was like, oh yeah, I love their fabric. Their fabric looks so good. I love it. I want to see what they're doing. So I went and I found it, and it was like filmed like 6 months ago, and Madison, the daughter, was the one who did it. And I just fell in love with it. And so now I have I tea dyed several pieces of fabric. This is a piece of 16 count white, no, is this white Aida? Yes, this was 16 count white Aida that I purchased. And I tea dyed this. Is this 16 count? Now I'm double checking myself. Yes, it is. Okay. This was a smaller piece that I purchased, and I tea dyed this using Madison's strategy. And this is what I got. So I love this fabric. I love the way it turned out. The marbling is beautiful. So I'm going to try to find something special to stitch on this. I know that what I find to stitch on this is going to have to be enough so that it doesn't, because this is kind of a busier marbling. And so I'm thinking something like with black work, a Halloween piece, something that has a good chunk to kind of cover up some of it so that it's not so busy, but also that's appropriate for this, because it came out so cool looking that you definitely want to be able to see some of the marbling. So it's going to be interesting to find a piece to go on this, but I just loved the way that this turned out. And then the second one that I used, I watched a different person. I can't remember who it was now. I'll have to think about it and put it in the thing for the piece that I'm doing Clover and Hive on. So for this piece, because I used a different strategy. So this one, you mainly just lay out flat and let dry overnight. This one, you kind of scrunch up a little bit and you put it in the oven to dry it. And that's how you get like the marbling effect. So then when I was dyeing my other fabric yesterday with my Rit dye, I pulled out some scrap pieces that I had. So I have all these, like these were all like a yellowy off-white color. And I just dipped these in some tea. And these are like ornament size pieces. Oh, I forgot one of my new starts. Goodness gracious, this reminded me of one because I started a project last night on one of these. So I will pull that out in a second and show it to you. And then I have this piece of 18 count. So those were 14 count. And then this piece of 18 count that I just had hanging around in my closet. And I pulled this out and I did the marbling on this one, but not as much as I had done on the other one. So I really like this too. And this is 18 count. So this would be perfect for, again, another Halloween stitch or something with black maybe threads. I don't know. I love them. They're coming out so cool. I'm so excited to be able to do some of my own dyeing. I'm always looking for ways to save money, especially with my stitching stuff. And I have so much Aida, like so much white Aida. So then I had some 16 count Aida that I practiced my Rit dyeing with. And again, I used Megan, the Seattle Stitcher, her tutorial. And this was my first piece. And this was a half a yard of a full yard of 16 count Aida that I've cut into littler pieces. So this is using the Pearl Gray Rit dye and Megan the Seattle Stitcher's tutorial, which I found to be like the easiest and most straightforward, and I loved it. So this one came out light, and which is perfect because I don't really like super dark. Although I have seen some darker fabric that I think, or some, like if you use charcoal, this is Pearl Gray. So if you use a charcoal gray, it might come out a little bit darker and richer. But this reminds me of Vintage Stormy Night, which is one of my favorites. I don't have any linen to dye right now, so it's going to be all Aida, which is fine. I'm okay with that. All right, this was the second piece that I dyed. So I let this, I put a little bit more dye in the diluted mixture. And so this one came out a little darker, and I really, really like this one too. Again, this is that same piece of 16 count Aida I just cut into, this is a 9x15, these two are 9x15s. And then the next piece I have to show you is a 15x18. And I've already chosen the project for the last piece, because this one I dyed with purple and pearl gray. So you start with the lighter of the two colors, and I followed Megan's directions exactly. And so you color it with the gray first. I actually did the gray twice. So I did it with the pearl gray the first time, and then I put the purple in, and then I went over it again with the pearl gray because I wanted to subdue some of the purple a little bit because it was a little bit too much. And then this is what I got. So I love the way this came out. I'm obsessed with it. I think it came out so good. You can see the purple and the gray. And I'm so excited. I do stitch a lot of Halloween pieces. I stitch a lot of Christmas and Halloween and autumn. I love autumn pieces too. I'm looking for more winter pieces because I really don't have a lot of winter. I have some, but not a lot. So this I'm super excited about. So let me show you my new start that I forgot to show you. So if you've made it all the way to this point and you got past all of my rambling and you still like me, you get to see the last new start that I had that I didn't show anybody. I didn't show at the beginning when I should have, because I forgot it. All right, this is from the World of Cross Stitch magazine, from my Readly app. The mouse series. There's a mouse in every World of Cross Stitch magazine, and I love a lot of them. I'm stitching a whole bunch, and this one is no exception. It's Mitten Mouse, and I had this kitted up for a long time and meant to start it a long time ago and just didn't. So I started it last night on a piece of my tea-dyed Aida. And it is really cute. I got a good start on this, and it should be done in the next couple of days. This might be one of those pieces that goes with me to the beach retreat. I don't know. We'll see. It's so hard to choose. But these are so small that I could really stitch a couple of these and take more than one, and it would be fine. And I could stitch one for that and one for myself, and I wouldn't feel like. So there's that new start that I totally forgot at the beginning when I did all my other new starts. And I was reminded to do it when I saw that fabric. All right, so let me show you the piece that I'm going to stitch on that piece of fabric that I just showed you that I dyed. I didn't know at first which one I was going to do. And then I was like going through my good notes, looking at all the patterns that I've downloaded over the years. And I saw this one that I had downloaded from Autumn Lane Stitchery. This is Halloween Nomies. And I do have all of the DMCs for this because I bought them all when I bought this chart. So that's what I'm going to stitch on it. It's going to be great. I can't wait. So this will probably be a new start in the next couple weeks, or it might be a new start at the beach retreat. So I don't know anything about retreats. I've never been to one before. This could be my first time. And so I'm really excited, but I'm also nervous about going because I'm kind of like one of those shy people. And even though I make videos and I put them on the internet, like this is me, right? Really just talking to my camera, and I'm talking to all of you, but like I'm a little bit more of a introverty personality. So I don't know what to expect. I don't even know like how many projects to take. I don't know what it's like in the stitchy room. I don't know how the lighting is. Like I really like might need some advice. So if you have been to retreats, or if you've been to this retreat in the past and you would like to share information for me, I would really appreciate it, because I just don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. But I know that I'm going to have a great time. That's all I know. And I'm going to meet a lot of people that like to do the same thing that I like to do. And that makes me feel so excited and so happy, because really nobody in my house, like, they like what I produce, and they are so kind to me and tell me all the time how much they appreciate what I'm working on, but they're not, they're not you guys. They're not you guys. So that's a plan. So I'm going to stitch that on this, which again, I'm going to show you again because I'm just so excited about it. It's just so great. 16 count Aida this is. All right, plans. Let's go over plans. I have some. I'm going to work on International Santas. This is that piece from the, where is it? I don't have the cover. This is that piece from the Better Homes and Gardens cross stitch keepsakes calendar from 2000 it's from. And I'm going to show it to you so that you can kind of see where it is. I'm going to stitch on this. And if you saw my whip parade, then you've seen this. But this is on a piece of 28 count Lugana. I think it's mushroom, actually. I'm not sure what I called it when I think I might have called it platinum when I was doing my whip braid, but I can't remember, honestly. We changed the name of the color since I started this. Anyways, I plan to work on this. I would love to have this done by Christmas this year. This was a 2021 start, so it needs to be done. Needs to be done. And usually when I start working on them, these Santas don't take that long. There's a lot of block colors, so it's not a lot of huge color changes, so it's not really hard to stitch on this. And this is a very nice one to stitch in hand. Like I said, I really like to stitch in hand with Lugana. It's just very comfortable. I'm going to work on Land That I Love. I have a couple of new starts that I think I'm going to take with me to the retreat. If you saw my kit video, like all of my, the ones that I kitted up for my new patterns and stuff, that is the one that I posted a few days after my whip parade. Then you would have seen a lot of these projects that I'm going to be starting, but I have a basket behind me. This basket. And it's full of those projects that I have kitted up. And so I don't know, like when I feel like I'm in the mood to start something new, I just come in here and I just grab one of the projects and off I go with it. So I don't know which one's gonna call me. Maybe the soda stitcher one. I'm opening these so slow. This is the Happy Thanksgiving by the Soda Stitcher. I got this on Etsy, and I am going to stitch this on, this was hard to figure out, but this piece of natural raw 32 count Belfast linen by Zweigart. And this is a big pattern. So I think it's going to take a minute, and I'm excited to start it. I bought 2 Soda Stitcher patterns from Etsy. One of them is an autumn one too. I don't have plans to start that one just yet. And I'm thinking still about changing the colors on this one, because if you watched that first video, you would have known that I said that I thought maybe I might want to change some of these blues. I might want to change some of the blue to like orange and green. Oh, I'm going to use this one. Maybe on this one. To like an orange and green. I don't know yet though. Only because I feel like it's not really the right color for the time of year. I love this one with the gingham. So. We'll see. We'll see. I did kit it up with all of the called for colors. So maybe I won't. When I start that one, I'll let you guys know what my plan is. Many of these I think are just going to go with me to the retreat. And I'm just going to start them there. Maybe. All right, so that is all I have for you today, and that's a lot. Again, thank you so much to all of my new subscribers. I hope you really enjoyed what you see. I apologize for all of my rambling. That I guess like one of my fears is that I'm going to offend people. I don't want to do that. I want to approach everything with kindness, and I hope that that's what you get from my videos is just to be in the world and to spread kindness and love. And that's kind of what I teach my students. That's what I teach my children. And I just really want to emulate that here. So I think that's why I get so worried about like if I'm going to say something that's going to offend somebody. I just don't want to be that person for anybody. And I hope that you have a great stitchy month between now and the next time that I see you. The next time that I see you, I'm going to have been to the beach retreat. So it'll be really fun to share my experiences, and I hope that, well, I know that it's going to go well. I know it's going to go well. I might do a Stitch With Me video between now and then. I don't know. We'll see. I hope that everybody is staying warm. If you're in North Carolina right now and you got 6 inches of snow, I hope that your kids are outside playing in it. And if you don't have any kids that are going outside to play, I hope that you're snuggled up warm under a blanket and you are enjoying your stitchy time. And I will see you in the next one. Bye now.